Hi everyone, we're here in Daytona Beach at Moondance. She's getting ready to go on the dry dock. And again, we're doing some major refitting. This time, we're putting in stabilizers. What we're excited about is the stabilizers we've been needing very badly because we roll and we tend to be more in the inside the ICW than the ocean because of that. The ocean, especially Florida, the winds hit you on the beam on the side, pushing it against shore, so it presents a constant roll, and so we're limited to just like 2-foot seas to go out, and even then if they hit you wrong or they make everyone sick. So we were really super excited about it. But the difficulty or the challenge is that on a Nordhavn N35 there's very little room. Gyros are big, they're expensive, they're complicated as far as maintenance goes.
Take a lot of power.
It takes a lot of power. You got to run a generator for those. It draws a lot of juice, and then a coolant takes coolant from the ocean and circulates it. So you got a lot of moving parts. Then the fins. Fins are a bit complicated themselves, and there's a new system out called the DMS Magnus System. With a push of a button from the control console, the Magnus Master deploys in about 5 seconds. Unlike gyros that take about a half hour to spin up. And it parks in 5 seconds as well. The system will also park itself when you put the throttle on neutral, which is very useful if you forget when you're going in marinas. The technology we picked up in Baltimore Trawler Fest when we attended. Jeff Merrill was there, Mark Pittman, and actually Mark introduced us to DMS. That was the booth right next to them. They're out of Holland, and they're going to be a big part of this installation. But I'll let them all discuss their system. We just went on I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't go on a 50-foot boat loaded with people, and they deployed this system, and it just took 20 degrees both port and starboard just on the boat right away with that size boat and one system, one bar. They've been doing this for hundreds of boats in Holland, and some of the bigger ships over 100 feet, and they'll put like 4 of them on those, but all we need is one. It's very small, and the amperage draw doesn't require me to run generator. The regular engine run will take care of it. So we're excited to share this with everybody. But let me show you where we're going to put it. Now the one that we had on the demo was a different boat. They were able to put it under the sink midship, and that was impressive. Here we don't have quite that room, and all my power for this is closer to the rear. And it'll be back here by the air conditioners. So if you come around over here, so in the lazaret, you got one side which I've got jacked up with all our stuff, which is where the hot water heater is. But over here by the air conditioners, we've got all this room, and this area right here is where they're going to do a build-up, I think, using these stringers as support, and there's a lot of support here. Move the wires up, and there'll be still plenty of room to maintenance these air conditioners. And come back a bit. You can see the space. So it's going to sit up, about like that or so, and about this much. So there's plenty of maintenance on the air conditioners. And this is the before anybody's touched it. They've been in here measuring, but I love that we have all this room to do this. Moondance is getting hauled out again. It's Christmas time here in Daytona Beach, and Moondance is getting stabilizers for a Christmas present. Her last upgrade was here, and she received stern thrusters, which we love. Now this will be the biggest upgrade she's received yet. The guys will be working around Thanksgiving and Christmas here to help us meet our installation schedule. That is one challenge. The other challenge is that this marina has never installed this kind of stabilizer before. But with the help and training from DMS Holland, Daytona Marina and Boat Works, we certified to install future DMS Magnus Master stabilizers. We've been asked about the cost of the project. There's too many variables to track. Location of your installation has a large impact. The cost of the labor rate for your area. Labor can run cheaper in Mexico, Guatemala, even Holland. The cost in labor was around 35% for us on this project. The cost of shipping. We expedited our shipping to meet this holiday schedule, so we paid more for it. You could have yours by freight. If you're interested in cost details, it would be best to discuss your project with Patrick Knorr at dmsholland.com. But we had a bonus. Patrick Knorr is the owner of DMS and came out personally to oversee the installation and brought his project manager, Lonnie, which we'll introduce to you later.
Well, there's no going back now.
With shards of Moondance's hull laying on the ground, there's a big hole in our boat, and there is no going back now. Now the build-up process, fiberglassing, and sealing start now. So this is what we started with, and I'll run you through the process. We had this space, and we had a lot of measuring to do. Victor took templates, cut, measured twice, and built a composite buildup. A composite material, some fiberglassing, a lot of measuring, a lot of leveling, discussions between DMS and the leveling process. Then the glass was built up over the composite material, and then the shaft was installed. The motors are underneath the boat at this point, and we went from this to this in a matter of 2 weeks. Your time may vary, but we have the control box located right next to the unit for easy access, and the door opens to be able to get to the electronics. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let me walk you through the process that we went through. And here I'll introduce Victor, our fiberglass and build-up guy.
All right, Victor, what do you build over there? What is this? That's a mock-up for what you're working on, the final product?
Yep, mock-up, template. I'm just trying to figure out some parameters on where it's going to end up and make sure we're on the right page to go and start building it.
Measure it twice, cut it once.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So it looks like it. How high was this thing going to go? Is that approximately the actual height of the platform?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. So then there's just a unit on top, which from the pictures looks like another 6 inches or something.
I believe it is.
Yeah. My first concern was that the ACs, being able to access it and service them. It looks like it won't be a problem.
So Victor began the process of the build-up, the fiberglassing, support on the stringers, and the finished product looked like it came out of the factory, and that's what we're happy with. Not all build-ups are going to be the same. It's going to be dependent on your boat, placement of the system will determine how it's built, and the amount of hours to do the build-up will vary according to different marinas and the location of your stabilizers. The ones on the side tend to be more in what I found the kitchens, but we're successful with the one on our stern. Let me introduce to you Patrick Knorr, the owner and founder of DMS, and his project manager Lonnie. Patrick and Lonnie flew out from Holland to oversee our project and instruct the boat works on the installation of the Magnus Master System.
Yeah, the system is working on the Magnus effect, so that's why we call the system DMS Magnus Master. And the Magnus effect is an effect that if something spins in the air, or in this case in the water, it creates a very big pressure up and down. So this rotor is rotating in 2 directions. Now it's in the park position. When the system goes out, so the rotors is in this position, the water is floating over that tube, and because it spins, it creates a very big pressure up and down. And that's how you stabilize your boat.
Because of the noise in the yard, you couldn't hear me too well, but I was asking Patrick what I've been asked. Does it work at anchor?
No, no. The system, yeah, the boat has to be moving because you need to have water flow over that tube to create the force. And that was my first question to you. I remember very well, John, why you want a stabilizer system, and you immediately said for cruising. That's for me the most important thing.
Absolutely.
And
We're a slow boat. We do about 8.5 knots. And from the previous videos, you can see that the Nordhavn 35 is prone to a lot of pitching and rolling.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the biggest argument of the system is already on a low speed, and all these kind of trawlers, they trawl on a low speed because they want to make big range of miles and crossing the oceans and seeing everything nice. And so when you cruise a long way, you want to not go on many speeds to save fuel. And and that's the biggest argument. So already on a low speed, you can generate the big force. That's the biggest argument. And of course, there are many other arguments. It's electrical, very low power consumption, retractable. But
well, the thing that sold me on this was the amount of room that it takes.
Also.
With the Nordhavn 35, as you owners know, we value our space, how much we have. And in the Lazarus by the air conditioner, I had a decent amount of space, but not for a gyro. It would have took the whole apartment up.
Yeah.
And so I was impressed with the amount of space that actually comes up above the in the hull, and that is what impressed me. Most of all, the business end of it's underwater. So the price also was very comparable or less than a gyro system. So all those sold me on it. And Lonnie, what is your position? Are you project manager?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Lonnie's project manager, and you're helping with the install.
Yeah, that's correct.
The support, I got to say, has been great from both you guys, because Lonnie's been with the helping of the installation, directing the boatyard, so that they can do future installations of this system. But Lonnie's been here helping them along, showing them how to cut the holes, the templates, the painting, pretty much everything, right? Except you haven't they won't let you physically touch it and install it, right?
Yeah, that's more or less, that's all I did not do. No, that's true. We like to guide and train the shipyard and make sure that everybody knows what to do, because especially if you're not familiar with the system and you just get a big box, you're like, okay, what am I going to do with it? And I think it is really nice if you have some people to talk to, and they can help you and guide you. I mean, you're going to make a hole this big in your vessel. I think you're happy that you can talk to someone like, okay, is this correct? Are we doing fine right now?
Yeah, and that is a big hole.
Yeah.
But having the support of you being here, I know David's been really happy with it too. When a boatyard has a new system like this, that you physically come out from Holland and be around for question and answers and show them basically how to install the equipment. So that's great to have that support. And same for Patrick. From the moment I said, yeah, I want to buy this system, Patrick's been with us through our WhatsApp application, telling us along the way where the unit is, pictures of it being packed up. I mean, it's like adopting a child, right?
Yeah.
And so we've been in the loop from the beginning all the way through this process. And today, we're scheduled on putting moon damps in the water. Let me introduce you to David of Daytona Marina Boat Works. And don't let his modesty fool you. He was hands-on with a lot of this project.
Those guys are the guys that did all the work, and they're the ones that actually should be in here more so than me.
I just want to introduce David here at Daytona Marina and Boat Works. The quality here at Daytona Marina and Boat Works, presented by David and his crew, are the reason why we chose this marina. They've also installed our side power stern thrusters, underwater lighting, and all of our major maintenance. David doesn't charge for dry docking, storage, as long as you're doing the work, which is a real beneficial help when there's a week or two long project. And now that Moondance is the first Nordhavn N35 in the world to receive stabilizers, here at Daytona's Boatworks, David and his marina are authorized DMS Holland installers. Our special thanks go out to David and his crew for the work that you've done.
I mean, we can always bring it down and behind. You got wires running this way.
Well, yeah, I would probably...
Again, it's just, you got to remember, if we flip it this way to work, either to work on it, you got to hold the door over your head the whole time. You got to have a stay. You have something stupid in your way that you're going to knock over and this thing's going to fall on your head.
And if you flip it,
but if we go like
counterclockwise,
we can even go here,
and then more to the corner.
And you got all day still. This looks cleaner.
That does look cleaner. We can just extend the wall down a little bit.
That'll be easier for you guys.
Yeah. I like that best.
I like this as well.
Yeah, it looks
And it
good.
fits.
Uh-huh.
And it looks a lot better because it's straight and up and down.
Yeah, as long as we can get an air conditioning unit out if need be.
Yeah, I mean,
You could also.
I wouldn't see that being a problem because I'm sitting here with a lot of room.
Yeah. Well, worst case, you can pull the exhaust stack out.
I mean, oops, I've got my keys in my pocket.
And if it goes like more to
The profile, as you can see, is only about from the stringer to the top about 1.5 feet. So there's plenty of room to still work on the air conditioners, and if need be, the exhaust can come out and you can pull a unit out. It looks like with not too much of an issue. So the control box sits right in the back and takes up almost no room. The unit itself, compared to a gyro, is 1/3 of the profile. The gyro would have to come way back here and just take up the whole lazaret. Now there's an inverter near the size of that box, smaller, that we elected to put on the engine room, which is through that through hole there and on the other side of this wall. We'll show you that too. But there's the finished product. The DMS Magnus Master. Hi, here I am in the engine room doing my boat yoga. Let me show you where the location is we picked out for the inverter.
This is the inverter required to power the stabilizer. This is a Cotec 2500 watt inverter. It converts the required 24 volts from these two batteries, generator and engine starter batteries, are tied in series to give it 24 volts, which is converted to 220 to run the motors. Wiring is sized adequately for the low voltage side. For the high voltage side, there only needs to be a 10 amp service. I wanted a Victron inverter, but the lead time was greater than our schedule, so we got a Cotec, a lot faster. Both are adequate for the application. Location is perfect. It's right on the other side of the wall from the stabilizer, and there's lots of room to access it. And while I'm here, this was the secondary area we were looking at putting the stabilizer. It would not stick out the back like it does now, but we're not finding that that's an issue. We've learned the system will work at any point along the beam, well, as long as it's under the waterline. Besides, we'd have had to move the bilge pump, the air conditioning cooling pump, maybe run into more problems. I believe it's possible, but I wanted a more plug-and-play install, and the time it takes to reroute electric and plumbing is costing time and money. The only thing it would gain you is you would not have the rod sticking out the back. Besides, there isn't a day that goes by at a marina that somebody doesn't stop and ask what that is. I now tell them it's my aft torpedo tube.
The DMS system has only one little control module. It'll be a display and control functions we're going to put right there.
At least that's the plan. Most of the through wiring to the engine room comes through here, so this is a good spot. Decent amount of real estate, so that's where we're going to put it. And I believe it's just an Ethernet connection, so that make it simple. Okay, we're with Patrick Knorr out of DMS Industries for the installation of the Magnus Master. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so first thing we're looking at is I'm looking at the tube sitting down here, and then its connections right up here. So what's going on here, Pat?
Yeah, so the rotor is pressed with a conical shaft, so you can see inside here.
Yep.
So it's a conical reinforcement there, and you put that on this conical shaft, and of course then you bolt and press the rotor on that conical shaft.
Okay.
And then it's
And then
tightened.
that rotor is right there. I see it. So that threads in this.
So it will be over here, and it will be 1 meter. Yeah, we call it in feet, of course, in America. 0.3 feet.
About 3 feet.
Yeah, 3 feet. Sorry, 3 feet.
Well, that 3 feet is coming from here or there? From there. Okay.
Yeah. So this is 1 meter. The rotor is 3 feet.
Right. Okay. So what we're looking at, we're concerned about for the placement of the system, because it had to come back in the corner for best installation for space. And what we're concerned about was it sticking out too far. But in the park position, it looks like it's going to come out somewhere up in here. So probably just past where our stern thruster is, but not by much. It's going to be kind of like a little tail underwater.
That's the nice thing of these rotors. You don't need to put it in the middle of the boat.
Right.
And as you can see now, if it is retracted, when it's not out, normally the rotor will go out when you use it. It will be like here, so it's stacking out
90 degrees.
Yeah, 90 degrees out of the hull. But you get a big lever, you see. And also when you don't use the stabilizer in shallow waters or what else, you see that you are much more protected. For example, compared to fins. With fins, you're always stacking out.
Right.
And you don't want to stack out under your keel and under beside your boat. And here you can see you are really well protected.
Yep.
By the keel.
To put on the rotor, you have to put it at the torque. So what I usually do is just put a strap around it. So strap it first to a post or to like whatever is available, and then strap it around, and then it will tighten itself. So otherwise you need to be with 2 people, one holding it, the other one tightening, and the by itself.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, we're gonna operate this thing. There it goes. Takes 5 seconds to deploy.
Better than two on one side, right? Yeah. We never did 2 on 1. Yeah. We did 4.
Maybe a little more, like 6 seconds. There it is. Now it's fully deployed and spinning.
Shall I retract again?
Okay, and this is how long it takes to retract. Yeah. A lot faster than gyros, huh?
Set up.
Well, to retract and to set up, doesn't have to spin up. They say about 5 seconds. It's pretty close, maybe 6 or 7. And then it's parked.
So that's it right there.
That's it.
Yeah, now I put the gear to neutral. So I did not press spark, but it just goes automatically because I put the gear in neutral.
So this is what we always call the dry commissioning. It's always lovely to do every checks now before you go into the water.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's also nice of electrical. You can do that. You don't need hydraulic, you don't need run the engines to do this. I like your green anti-fouling.
Isn't it pretty?
Now that the installation of the Magnus Master is completed, Moondance is ready to begin her journey from the dry dock to the Intercoastal Waterway, which is where our marina is located. The nearest ocean inlet is about an hour's boat ride, but we can do all of our commissioning on the Intercoastal Waterway. Lonnie will be running diagnostics, forcing rolls, and calibrating the system as we go. The Magnus Master screen, located below my radar screen, has a test button which forces a roll. It spins the Magnus Master up to full speed and then reverses it. The button you have to hold down, I call the chicken button, because the roll will get so violent it starts throwing things around the cabin. The concept is, if I can produce a 20-30% roll, then I can counter the same. As we make our way down the thruway to the ICW to begin our test, I realize I wish I would have mic'd everybody up. But can you blame us? We're pretty excited. And I'm no Ron Howard. But if you listen in carefully, you'll get the gist of the test and how it went. And stay tuned, we'll show you the real sea trials in the ocean.
And we're 13 feet of water, so we got plenty. Oh, look at that. Like keep doing it, and you get a hold.
Yeah, but only if you hold it, it will start moving. But I'm a little bit afraid that things will start falling. So
No, I think we're all right.
yeah, good.
Oh, wow, it especially goes to port. But it's got some power. We need a boat.
And this is your cruising speed.
This is my cruising speed, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, sometimes I'm a little bit more if I want to move it. Like that. Oh, wow.
It works really well on this one. It depends on the boat, you know, what it does. It works like well or really well. But yeah, you can. But this one it works really well.
Oh, especially on the port. Whoa, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, great.
Yep.
I just said to John, okay, with this one it works really well. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll take care of us. Yeah, I can do quick turns like this.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a little workout, but it works. Okay, let's switch on the stabilizer. Good luck.
Alright, stabilizer's on. So here, I'll do a 360. Normally this would pitch us all over the place.
I'll switch it up. See what happens. Yeah, not bad. That's a really short turn, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see. Oh yeah, I know. So I'm gonna do some testing. It's gonna be very annoying.
Yeah, this boat's easy to move it around.
This is exactly what I saw in your movie.
Yeah.
What's happening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we get
Really reacting fast, so not normal.
Yeah.
It's even not going to the wall point, I think. What I see.
Now I'm just trying to get the highest draw of power as possible. So that's why it is the most heavy for the system to do the first, like tipping over. After that, it is not that heavy anymore, actually, because she is going anyway naturally. And that's why I'm doing like the first one over and over and over, because that is drawing the most.
I think we're good so far. Yay! All right, no stabilizers. We've got some 1 to 2 footers that are really rolling us on the side, not constantly. We'll wait for them.
Straight 8, go straight and down, that's okay, and then.
Okay, that's a decent one there. And there's a full nice roll there that moves stuff around. Right now, we've got stabilizer is red, which means off. It's deployed out, but it's off. And I will get ready to turn it on. Get a roller going. Like there. Okay, stabilizer just went on. See how flat it is? You look down here, you can see it work. Look at that, it's going to like almost 100% here and there. The top graph and the bottom graph show a port starboard. Which one it's rolling, which direction it's rolling. Control the roll. Yeah, with them all. Yeah, I could tell. I had felt it just cleared that roll out. So it's not 100%. It's not like smooth glass that makes it, but it takes that jerk roll out. It just reverberates back and forth. It dampens that and cancels out probably 80 to 90% of the roll.
Okay, so it is a stabilizer and it runs on 24 volts for the control panel for all types of sensors that are in the system, and on 230 volts. The 230 is for the electric motors, the 24 volts is for this display. So the first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna switch on the 24 volt DC breaker and the panel will light up. And you're gonna need the 230 volt breaker. We already switched it on right now.
We decided to locate both the 24 volt and the 220 volt breaker in the AC non-inverter side, so it was one place to start the system up.
So this is the home screen. It starts and then you see this. You only see the stabilizer in the park, that's it. If you want to go to the additional settings, you press menu.
Okay, menu.
And here you see a roll reduction. I usually leave it at 100%, and I think most people want to have it at 100%, but in case you feel like, I need a bit of more natural movement, if you put it at 80, you'll feel slightly more natural movement. So it is not stabilizing to maximum capacity anymore, it is stabilizing to 80% capacity. I'm gonna put it back at 100 because I think you'll like it.
Sure.
Underneath, you see beam following, which is a ratio between the roll. I am not sure what the correct translation is, but I think roll velocity and the rolling angle.
Okay.
More or less. Yeah, that more or less works in English. Okay, great. Now it is at 20%, so it is looking at one of those items at 20%, the other one at 80%, which is good in every situation. So if you leave it like this until the end of times, you'll be fine.
Okay.
But it is called for a reason, beam following, because if you think about it, and waves are coming either from aft or completely aft to the beam, that ratio, that changes because you are going together with the wave, you get this surfing motion.
Right.
In this case, it could be possible that you have to change the ratio up to 40%. It might be more comfortable. You can always try. But if you leave it at 20% until the end of time, you'll be happy. So in the menu, you will have the roll reduction beam following. We covered that already.
Yep.
Forced roll. So for the forced roll button, it is not hidden or anything. As an end user, you can still use the forced roll button. So it will not be hidden or anything. With this button, maybe you have guests on board that you want to get rid of, or you can test the system. It is like a party trick. It is a party trick for your boat. Yeah, so that is a lot of fun. Of course, we also made it as safe as possible. So forced roll is only operating when you are holding it, and when you like tip over or anything, as soon as you let go, it starts stabilizing straight away.
Yeah,
so we kind of made it as safe as possible.
Yeah.
Underneath the forced roll button, you have the button alarms, which will bring you to the alarm page. Yeah, nothing in there, so that's good. Under that, you have diagnose, which actually shows you the power draw that it is asking. So we have been doing a lot of forced rolls, and apparently with the forced roll, the maximum draw that it took was 900 watts.
And 900 watts is why we used a 1500 watt inverter. Well, this completes the installation of our Magnus Master System on our Nordhavn 35. This is how it looks fully installed. And as you can see, it takes up very little space, has very few moving parts. The two main motors underneath and what you see on top. There's little to no maintenance. I understand this sounds like a commercial. I'm an electrical engineer, retired, and I saw the potential for this system on Moondance. We're a full-time live-aboard, and cruising is a big part of our life. Now that our life can be a little bit more stable, pun intended. Corrections on my part. We found the system takes about 13 seconds to fully deploy and park, but it gives me an edge. When I'm in the ICW and there's a boat passing me, I can deploy this by the time the boat gets beside me, and it takes the majority of the wake and the roughness off. Love it. If you enjoy our video, please like and subscribe. That way, you'll get notifications when we post new videos, and we will be posting videos as we play with our stabilizer and we travel up and down the east coast of the US. This has been a Screaming Chicken production.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a nap. It's comfy in here.